Welcome to a talk on pee, poop, and boobies. My name is Veronika Heimsbakk, and I'm the Knowledge Graph lead at Insights and Data at Capgemini Nordics. Okay, so before I became a mom back in 2017, a mother told me that she used to register her infant's sleeping habits on paper back in the 90s. I thought that this was a wonderful idea because she meant that showed her when her infant was most likely to fall asleep, so she could get some sleep herself. So I thought that there might be some app doing this now, and there was. And the application I chose even exported to CSV. And the data lover in me saw the opportunity and took it. So my kid was born on 22nd of July 2017. I started logging the data 25th of July 2017, and I stopped the registration on 25th of January 2018 when we got hit by sickness. Therefore, I have 6 months of infant data on pee, poop, and boobies, including sleep, and here are the results. So, as a semantics nerd, I do have a fondness of data structured as directed graphs. My baby data was as good as any other data, so I created a knowledge graph consisting of diapers, breastfeeding, and sleep. I've implemented an application in Java using the framework Jena for interpretation of CSV and exporting it to RDF. I've used a triple store Fuseki for graph storage, which one can query the knowledge graph using Sparkle. So, let's start by having a look at some sleepy statistics. As most parents are aware of, babies sleep quite a lot, even though it doesn't always feel like it. They do. My tiny creature has been sleeping 55.7% of all the time I have logged him. In other words, this is approximately 13.3 hours a day, which is right in the mean of the baby population of 11 to 21 hours a day. When I look at the mean of the duration of all these naps, I got a spot that they are just about over 2 hours. And this corresponds well with the routine that quickly got established for us, which was approximately 2 hours of sleep and then 2 hours awake throughout the day. Okay, let's continue with some smelly statistics. So, let's say that you were going to babysit my kid for me. And when is the perfect time during the day to do so? Probably when there is less poop floating around, right? And therefore I divided the day into 4 and I discovered the amount of poop for the respective periods. And there is definitely fewest poops between midnight and 6 a.m. I don't know if I would have needed a babysitter between midnight and 6 a.m., but that's another story. So, of the total of 186 days that I've logged my kid, there was 119 days with poop diapers. That means there has been a lot of days without any poop at all. In total, 67 days, to be exact. And that sounds pretty amazing, huh? But infants that only get breastfed might have several days in a row without any pooping at all, and it's still completely normal. Other conditions matter for babies that are fed with supplements. And now, some time for sticky statistics. During the first 6 months, we spent a total of 16,157 minutes on breastfeeding, or 269.3 hours, which is 11.2 days divided on 2,882 separate meals. During the first few months, the so-called growth spurts is where the child itself ensures extra food. The first 3 months has an average on 1.6 hours a meal, while the last 3 months has an average of 0.9 hours a meal. Average time spent on all these meals are 1.5 hours, and yes, that is quite a lot, just to ask my boobs. It is almost impossible to see some kind of pattern here. The child got fed when he wanted it himself, and with feeding, no clear routine was established. And days with baby swimming did not change the irregular pattern at all. At least these days are somewhat under the daily average of its period, with about half an hour a day. And last but not least, let's have a look at some spaced statistics. So, when gathering all this data, I asked my Facebook friends, do you have some good correlations? And yes, a good friend of mine asked if I could see any correlation between if the baby was exposed to Star Trek or Star Wars. My friend had this hypothesis that Star Trek would create a calm and comfortable atmosphere for the tiny creature. And of course, I have to find out if this was true. And this shows that after exposure of Star Trek, the child sleeps longer throughout the day. However, there is a lot of short naps, and 1 hour and 25 minutes average per nap for Star Trek, and 2 hours and 45 minutes average per nap for Star Wars. One may wonder what option gives the best quality of sleep. There is no differ in the diaper data, even the poopy diapers doesn't differ, and there are no differences in breastfeeding data either. So truth be told, we watched Star Trek when he was 3 months old and Star Wars when he was 5 months old. But all these amazing biases are not taken care of course. So we might conclude that Star Trek gives the most sleep, but Star Wars creates the best sleep. Okay, so with help of all these data, I could clearly see a pattern after a couple of months. Sleep, boobies, and diapers started to appear on the same times each day. I learned that my kid got tired after being awake for 2 hours, and then he slept for about 2 hours before he woke up again. By being aware of this, I could prepare him for sleep when he reached his 2-hour limit. I think that I experienced more rest and satisfaction in association with sleeping and established quickly a daily routine. And this will of course happen if you don't log data as well. A baby's routine changes all the time from week to week or even day to day. And every assertion regarding the baby population made in this talk is consulted with the nurse. So, go make kids and plot data. Well, this used to be my conclusion for this presentation back when my kid couldn't talk or walk. Now, almost 6 years later, I would have reconsidered that making kids thing, but plotting data is always awesome. Thank you so much.